All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Disrespected Fathers Show podcast. And we're doing pre recorded because we want to hit on a couple of points. And it's going to take a couple of pausing moments, and I want to edit that out. You know what I mean? But if you haven't, I need people to start coming and liking and commenting so we can get back on the algorithm. I'm new to this YouTube thing, so I want this to work, and I need support. So I just really need you guys, if you're friends of mine, stuff to come through and support because you never know, it may change somebody's life. Um, Today, I want to get into the fact that I kind of hit on it on my other show um, about, why are these young men so soft these days? And we can run that through how we see it in playing sports, football, for a matter of fact. I talked about this tonight, and people, may think I'm crazy or whatever, but I don't care. But this is what I see. I've been noticing that, put it this way, if you are a football fan and you watch sports, you notice that there aren't the dynasties of old that used to be in college football. And I'm getting to a point, so stay with me. If you notice, there aren't any dynasties no more in football. It's just somebody happens to be lucky that season. You know, somebody happens to be lucky that season to win the championship. Couple of exceptions. You see, Alabama and Georgia, maybe, uh, but I don't. It's not dynasty. I mean, Alabama maybe. I think Alabama was, but that's the last of a dynasty because they had a grown man. And I'm not the biggest Nick Saban fan. I mean, I've criticized him in the past, but uh, when it comes to raising grown men and teaching them to get the best out of each other, get the best out of them, I think he's the guy. I think it college football and guys like Coach Bobby Bowden, and uh, Joe Paterno, uh, Bo Schembechler, and all of these guys left college football. They took something with them. They took something with them that this society today has no idea of what it is. And we can credit this to the lack of this for we can credit the lack of this on being coddled. This sensitive um this sensitive way of living, being, babied all their lives. These kids don't know what it is to go out there and get hit. The thing I'm talking about is the lack of testosterone in young men today. Do you see what I'm talking about? I can go on with this as long as you want me to, but I don't want to offend nobody. But and you can see it in this culture that they have today with the 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 blank queens in the 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 alphabet community or whatever. Not dissing them, but I'm just telling you the lack of testosterone in men is destroying uh, or young men is destroying uh, college football, pro football, and all other sports that had a physical element. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'm wrong, say it in the comments. But you see, there are more women having the testosterone gene these days more than men. And you notice, if you look at your favorite football team, mine's Florida State. Back in the days, we had grown men, or we had people that played hard. Even our backups played hard. Even our backups that backed up our backups played hard. We had guys like Wilson and Boulware, Sam Coward, back then. And I don't want to get off the subject of what I'm talking about, but we don't have that anymore in sports. And for the life of me, I'm trying to understand why they want to put uh, this gender thing. If you've switched genders, if you switch genders, but you still want to compete in women's sports or the other sport, when you've lost no attributes except your genital, for lack of a better term, what I mean, what was the purpose of switching when you still wanted to compete in women's sports? What's the purpose of that? There is too much coddling, and there is no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no, I hate when I'm lost for words. There's no accountability for what people are doing or wanting to get done to themselves. That's on them. But my thing is, when it starts interfering with the becoming of a man, from a son, from a boy to a man, and it has an extra, lack thereof, attribute to enhance or increase his direction to go another way, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. Men should be men. Women should be women. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And I'm talking in terms of, sports, but I'm also speaking in terms of, we got to find out or find a way to regain this thing called testosterone and start. I'm not sure if it's what we're eating or whatever, but it's beginning to be a problem, and that's why you see all these things that you didn't see in the 70s, in the 60s and 80s. It was out there, but it was not this, you know, was not this nationwide. You've seen people like, Little Richard, um, Liberace, and whoever you want to name, RuPaul, whoever you want to name. But this comes from these kids not knowing the value of hard work. This comes from these kids uh, not having a father in their life. This comes from this. This comes from not having a father figure. This comes from, I mean, it could be a coach. It can be a uncle that was, I mean, I'd much rather have a thugged out uncle than to be raised by a bunch of women. My uncle can teach me how to be a man, and I'm talking to you, kid. If my uncle could teach me how to be a man without getting in trouble, or show me, hey, look, this is what a man does, without all that other stuff, he's gonna teach you some lessons. He's gonna teach you some lessons, and he's gonna be hard when he's doing it. You get an uncle that just came out of jail, just came out of prison for doing about 5 years. He's not gonna let you be laid up under all these women. Get out here and go play football. Get hit by a couple of cars or something. You know what I'm saying? I just you know I just don't think it's gonna do anything to help the growth of a young man being a young man, and don't think it's gonna be do anything for a young woman to grow as a young woman, because all they're seeing, to me, this is reverse masculinity. 'Cause all they're seeing is a mama bullying, a bogarting the man that she's supposed to be following, so to speak. And if a man doesn't want to get in trouble, all they see is all their kids see is, oh, daddy, you just walked away from that, because he has, who in their right mind. Let's put it this way: when you're doing a puzzle, how many of you done a puzzle and wanted it to fit, wanted the puzzle pieces to fit so bad that you take your time doing it? That's what men want. That's what men want when it comes to relationships. We want the puzzle pieces to fit. We want when I say fit, we want you to fall in place. We want you to fall in place as children. We want your mom to know her place as a as a wife or a girlfriend or whatever. We want that, and they want you to fall. They want you to lead them. That's the natural order of things. Do not have that. Y'all let this these internet apps raise you and let you see somebody else having and doing the things that you want to do. That's not your life. That's not your life. You keep letting this internet raise you. I promise you. I promise you. If I ever came up on a few billion dollars, if I ever came up on a few billion dollars, I would build my own country. I would build my own country, and I would just have people there that wanted to raise kids the right way. I would just have people there. I don't care about race or none of that. I would have kids and mothers and fathers. Hey, look, in order for this to work, you don't have to be married. But in order for this to work, y'all gonna have to raise these kids together. In order for this to work, y'all ain't gonna leave each other unless situations show that you can't do it. And I'm gonna show you something as far as using sports as my talking point, you notice, let's go to the NBA for a second. If you notice, they get hurt at a more alarming rate than the guys back. I mean, I think it stopped with Kobe. After Kobe left, rest his soul, after Kobe left, all of these players, it just showed me that this guy, him, Jordan, even Larry Bird got out there and played with a hurt back. Magic Johnson got out there and played with a hurt back. I mean, y'all are built for speed. Y'all aren't built for toughness. And I talked about this a little bit on my podcast. Need to go check out the Retro Jersey podcast. I talked about this. Softness. I mean, I'm going to use one person. I'm going to use Anthony Davis. This is the soft culture. And I love Anthony Davis. Don't get me wrong. And Anthony Davis, you see this, bro? I'm a big fan. I'm serious. I'm a big fan. You're one of my all-time favorite Lakers. But the fact that these guys get hurt for time, all the time, just shows me that they were coddled, and they were raised to think, okay, whatever you do is going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to go through nothing. I know he's from Chicago, but you didn't have to go through anything. You know, growing up in, like, you know, people like, I hate to say his name because I used to be a big fan, but Isaiah Thomas. Guys, you know, these guys played hurt. You see Isaiah Thomas in the NBA Finals against the Lakers in '88. They got out there and played hurt. I mean, because they know, because they came up tough. They came up tough. These people today aren't coming up tough. It's back to what I'm talking about. It's a soft culture. It's a soft culture. Lack of testosterone. I could talk sports all day with you. I mean, I could use DeMarcus Cousins as a talking point. I don't think he's soft at all. I just think he has bad leg coordination. His lower body is his lower body's not coordinated for basketball, but he can play. That's why he went through all them leg injuries. That's another story. But mothers, you need to let these dudes' fathers back into their lives, or their uncles or some great uncles, because the farther we get, it feels like the softer the culture is. It feels like it gets softer and softer. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the show. Want all my people to come by, hit like, share, comment, please, and we'll go from there. This has been the Disrespected Fathers Podcast Show. Tell me what you think.